live.
All right, well, we will call to order the meeting at Alamance County Board of Elections, November 25th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Peter is with us again. If you can just again onto the record, tell us who you are.
Peter Shea, Alamance County Democratic Party, and my only comment for the meeting is have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise. And so well, I guess we're on the agenda. Does anyone else have any amendments that need to be made to the agenda? Or is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? And item 4, has everyone had an opportunity to review the November 14th minutes?
Yes.
And does anyone have any additions or corrections?
No.
All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And so now we move to the meat of it, the primary early voting site and time selections. Were you able to hear back from Mebane?
I've heard back from Mebane, Graham, Coronado, and Elon, and they're all available and have us down. Again, we did only budget for 2, but due to the fact we didn't have the Burlington primary, we should have enough money to cover a 3rd site if the board wishes.
Okay. And I think, if I recall from when we last discussed, that everyone was on board with doing a 3rd site to try and reach more of the other part of the county.
Cool.
And I think were you saying, Judson, that a lot of people have been driving down for the early voting there before from like Saxbaugh?
Yes, I actually hung up the map over there this is a presidential primary, so the numbers would be higher, much higher than this past time, or this coming time. But the only thing I really discovered from this is that people tend to vote at whatever side is closest to them. So there are some outliers, like you see a little grouping of pink here. They went to Elon. A few people from Alamance went to Elon. Generally, Graham takes up the bulk of everything right here. And while I haven't made a map this detailed for 2022 primary, I did throughput type stuff for which would be how many people are passing through at any given time.
Yeah.
And it was a similar distribution, but Coronado, I put a little flag.
Coronado was not open for the primary and for that primary.
Yes, so we can't have a direct comparison from a single election between Coronado and Elon, but Mebane is kind of self-explanatory. If you have a site open in Mebane, the people in Mebane are going to vote in Mebane. The question, I guess, would be since you don't have a choice with Graham, if you put this one here, are these people going to come to Coronado or are they going to come to Graham? It would make sense in terms of the direction that they would hit Coronado first. It might be a good opportunity for you to test and see which of the two will draw people.
How close is Coronado to Graham?
I believe it's about 2 miles. The scale is at the bottom of the map there.
Sorry.
2 miles. So 2.5. About 2.5
Okay.
miles almost directly to the west. And I wish I could speculate more than that, but I really can't. The only thing I really learned from that data collection is that when you plot the site somewhere, people who live nearby it, who were going to vote anyway, ostensibly, they end up voting at that site.
So that was a so this was
A primary.
a primary,
It was a presidential primary, so you should
But
keep
it
in
was
mind
also-
numbers would be lower.
but it was also a sheriff's race? Or-
No.
No,
It was not. That was the
Yes.
presidential,
okay,
just last year.
okay. So this is, okay. So for mid-year, usually out the,
Here, I do have this,
Yeah.
Lane.
okay,
In 2022, which was a sheriff's
Mhm.
bill, there was not, these two primaries,
Mhm.
2022 and 2018, the
Mhm.
sheriff was not on the
Right.
ballot for
right,
these,
mhm,
two primaries.
okay,
However, we had Graham and Kernodle in 22,
Mhm.
and we had a total between the two of under 6,000 voters turnout. In 2018, again, we only had the Graham location,
right,
and we just had right under 3,000 early voting.
okay. Well, we had about 6,000 that showed up for the sheriff in this last one.
It seemed like it, but
I
yeah.
just, I mean, I'm personally kind of torn between going to Canodle and going to Elon. I think that there's argument for both of those. I think Mebane speaks for itself.
Right.
If we tried Elon, it would be a good bit further away from Graham. So it might pull some more of the people away from Graham to go to Elon. Cause you're going to get that core group that always goes to Graham. Southern Alamance, a lot of the Southern Alamance voters go to Graham. A lot of the city people go to Graham. I just want to hear some discussion from other people about what they think, and from you about from your observations as staff, what are the advantages to one and disadvantages? I'm sure there are disadvantages to both and advantages to both that we might not be aware of from a staff point of view.
I just see Kernodle as being in the city, and Elon to me is kind of like a hidden site. You
Mhm.
know, you gotta, even Burlington residents have to go that way,
Mhm.
go out of the way to vote there. But then you have the, western part of the county that has to come in, and they come by Elon. So it's kind of.
6 of one, half dozen of another.
Right.
I think my recollection from last time is that you were saying there had been a number of logistical challenges with Elon in terms of parking versus Kernodle and the size. We do have to block off parking at, and they will have, events going on. It's the spring or their spring Right,
events, as far as, I know they have baseball, Elon's a very active community.
Mhm.
They filled up the parking one time, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
and we
had-
had to call somebody and have them, hey, can y'all block off parking for just us, and that took a little bit of working around, and,
And then.
I mean, it's not impossible
Mhm.
for us to do. I mean, they would work with us anyway, it's,
So now that you've had that issue, they're aware of that issue.
Exactly.
That probably won't happen again. The issue, and it might not be an issue in the primary, but the issue at Kernodle is there's one way in and one way out. And, if there's a heavy turnout, like there might be in the general election, that's
Yeah.
a good reason for having Elon as a site then to give people an option, because if you've ever gone in there, it can be difficult to find parking there too sometimes, because they have activities too. They have classes going on and stuff like that.
I have decided to put in the budget, we'll be hiring parking attendants for, Coronado and Graham for the November
That
election,
would be
in case we have the issues that came up this
Mhm,
last,
mhm.
like we did in the presidential.
Well, I like the notion of having a site on the east, Mebane, a site on the west, Elon, and a site in the middle, Graham. It seems to me that you cover the whole area, and it's where, as I look at that map, where the concentrations generally are the largest.
We could try it this time. And because it's not going to be an overwhelmingly large turnout. I do think that sheriff's race is going to attract a lot of voters in the primary,
It will.
more than normal. So it might be an interesting thing for us to look at for future.
I mean, I guess from my perspective, as far as Burlington goes, the Coronado location appears to me to be more centralized to a larger population area. I mean, is that accurate, Judson?
Yes, if you're talking about proximity to population, Coronado would have more proximity on paper to more population than Elon would. Whether those are people who regularly vote or not, I don't know. Coronado notably is 128 on election day, which is in our bottom 3 for turnout. So are the people who are voting, are the people who are voting there, are they people, are the people who are not voting there, should you encourage them to be voting by opening a site up there? Or are the people who are voting there at early voting these past few times actually people who are living there, or are they people outside of the area? Those would be my 2 questions. Do you want to, since you have such a large registered voter population in that area, do you want to offer an early voting site there? And you think that offering that, in addition to offering the Graham site, which is 2.5 miles away, would make that much more of a difference in having people vote? Or do you think that it would be more worth it to put something at Elon to have more general geographic coverage? It's kind of it's almost an even contest, depends on how you want to weigh the value of a site.
So, I mean, I guess my other perspective is it seems sort of like from this data that we have tested Elon. And so there may be some value in this being a non-presidential year, still a significant year, but a non-presidential year in seeing what happens with the site that we have not used, or we're not able to use. Ben, I think you looked like you were wanting to say something.
I think 2 things. One, in hearing the staff, it seems like, when they were saying Elon's more of and I get that, kind of like a hidden site versus Coronado. The thing about Coronado is it's used in every election, it's used in every primary. I think people are very used to that, and that if we were to take Coronado out, then I'm certain there will be people, we would need signs up on the doors of Coronado if we choose Elon to say, we're not having something here, we're not having a primary contest here, voting here this go around, you need to go to one of the other 3 sites. And also the idea again of, you got Burlington, Graham, and Mebane, which would make sense, those 3 in terms of voting. Because those are the 3 main cities, and Elon is further out. And I would agree with Kevin that was kind of, we road tested Elon somewhat, and I think that I would stick with the places we've already been. And we were already, Graham and Coronado were sort of already this is what we were going with, and then we add a third site, which Mebane is the third site we're adding.
Does anybody else have anything?
What do you think?
Well, I can see what Homer and Kevin say then. I would say it'd be, looking at it myself, would be Elon, Coronado, and Mebane. But
We have to use Graham.
you gotta use Graham, so it'd be Elon, Graham, and Mebane, or Coronado, Graham, and Mebane. I don't, in a primary, if it was the general election thing, I could see that, but I'd go along with Coronado, Graham, and Mebane. I could see that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so looking ahead, we'll have 5 sites, I imagine.
We
for
have in the
gym.
past.
Yeah,
We
And
used,
we
Elmira
definitely-
and
Elon.
either Coronado or Elon
Mhm.
added, whichever one isn't
yes,
used.
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So looking ahead,
Mhm.
the sites would be Mebane, Elmira, Elon,
Coronado
Coronado,
and Graham.
Graham. So
For November.
for November. So,
and your budget reflects that, you said?
Well, I haven't, that budget
Well,
has
yeah,
not
yeah,
been,
yeah.
but we.
in the past, that's what,
Yes, ma'am.
we, in a midterm with the sheriff's race.
With the sheriff's race.
And they did have sheriff on the ballot,
Mhm.
at the,
That's
in the
all.
midterm,
Mhm.
that's correct. That we used all 5 sites.
Mhm.
And those 5 again would be, Mebane, Graham, Coronado, Elon, and Elmira.
Mhm.
So.
And we, like I told Kevin, he asked about other locations. We have, even when Kathy was here, we continuously look for other locations, especially out, in the county. Why, there's just, Alamance doesn't have any facilities that can give up at 3 to 4 weeks,
Right.
give up their space 3 to 4 weeks. If y'all were out, it's like I told Kevin, if y'all were ever out, you see something you think might work, let us know. and We'll be glad to, look at another site. But these are what we have currently have, and they have worked,
I guess this will determine the way, because I support Elon, but I also recognize, the value of Coronado. But for people in Burlington, who rely on, public transportation, do the bus lines go to Coronado or near Coronado?
I forgot to look that up.
I will,
I think they do. I think South Mevin's one of the.
I
main
think so
arteries.
too.
Okay. Do they go to Elon?
I can go
I
get
don't think
What's
so.
what's it called? I can look it up.
Link
right now.
Link Transit, yes.
Only because Elon has its own fleet, and they're very,
But that's for the college.
yeah,
thing.
for the college
Yeah,
only,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't.
So that would,
so.
I think that's an important factor if we're taking it out of Burlington.
Mhm.
Do
Right.
people have public transportation that gets them close to a site?
And I will say just anecdotally, I've gone by that location, going from point A to point B, and I've seen Link Transit
I think
buses over there. I've not
seen,
know if they have a stop there,
Yeah.
but
but if they have
There
Bus-
is a blue line. There's a blue line for Link Transit that goes all the way to Gibsonville for Elon. I can't tell looking right at this if it would go close enough to be worthwhile to our Elon site.
He goes to the town hall, Elon Town Hall, Gibsonville Town Hall, Elon Town Hall. That's the only stop in Elon.
How,
Let's see.
how about near?
At the town hall,
Mhm.
then it's about,
It's a good
4 or
trip.
5 blocks.
It's a good trip if you haven't
Yeah.
walked it.
Let's see.
I don't think a line would go directly to Cronulla.
I
That's
think there's
senior
a bus
citizen
stop
center.
nearby, I believe, but I just
It should
wanna,
be.
I would
Given that
imagine.
it's the senior citizen center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I've driven by there like
Isn't there a
1,000
bus stop
times.
right
There is a
there?
bus stop
Mhm.
right in front of that apartment complex
Mhm.
that's next to, or condos, something that's right next to Grenada.
So,
Yeah, the one thing that I'm thinking about is in relationship to what Judson was saying as a criterion. If there is low voter turnout
Mhm.
at Kurnow, but you have higher voter turnout at, let's say, Elon, then do you reward Elon for having higher voter turnout and make it more convenient for the people who really are going to be voting? Or do you have it at Kernodle in order to incentivize people to vote there because it is close?
Or the other way around.
Or you're right.
If you're looking to encourage Elon, if people are used to Grenada, like Ben was saying, and you're looking to encourage people to get used to Elon, do you send them to Elon? I don't want to complicate the decision any further. There's all kinds of different angles to it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not personalizing, I'm just going on the data.
I can't tell how close this bus line gets to Elon. Where's our site on here?
I have let me run downstairs. I have I did, I don't know how accurate it is, but
I hate to bring that
up.
up, but I mean, I just think, you know,
I'm
so
digging in this
thoughtful.
route and map guide. See what I can find
And I don't know
for what it's
how
worth.
this
So
transit
we get them to
works.
the corner of
You know, I
Trowel.
went
Oh,
to
yeah,
State
there's the
Fair.
railroad track.
mhm.
And they
It'll
made a
take them to
special stop
Sonder
for
and South
fair
Williamson
time.
Avenue,
Could the Burlington
we,
Transit
which is.
make a special stop for those days for
Well-
2 or 3 weeks?
here's
There
the
was
thing.
a stop right at the road that goes along the trail, the railroad tracks.
Yes.
If you get to Williamson,
Mhm.
if you're heading past our side on the left towards Williamson Street, there is a stop on the blue line right,
So they gotta come
At the
under the
end.
track, they
That's
gotta
what
go
you're
under the
thinking
tracks to come to it though.
if
So-
they're coming from the north.
Yeah.
So they'll be at the post office and town hall in Elon, and then would have to head east along Trollinger
Across the
Avenue
full
to get to Antioch Avenue.
But going back to what you had said, every year we post to Dawn, I think Dawn and maybe Judson, I'm not sure, contacts the Burlington Transit and asks if they will come at a stop closer to Graham because of the early voting. And They-
They've refused.
they have not.
Because
So-
Noah was asking about that
Well, they got
last
new
year.
people in there now. You know what I'm saying?
We'll be asking again.
No, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
got new Commissioner
Mhm.
Braille and all that
Yeah.
stuff. City council, whatever, maybe they be more flexible.
I would like to know the number of people that showed up in November wanting to vote for the sheriff. If they're gonna show up in March or if they're just gonna show up in November,
Yeah, that's a good
They'll
point.
show up in March
so.
because it's the primary.
There's already a contest going on. It's not even
Is
on
it
the
a
ballot.
two-way contest or a three-way contest?
Well, I don't
So
know, there's somebody supposedly trying to, I guess, get a petition
woman.
worked
That
up
would be
or,
Yeah.
or
That'll be for them. That's, I mean, speaking from a political viewpoint, that's foolish. You don't take out an incumbent by running 3 people against them in the primary.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's numerically impossible.
There's definitely one direct in front.
If you ran one
There's
person,
several, because I think
you
there's
might
one
have a
on the
chance, but they're
north
gonna split
side
the vote.
where, I think it
I don't
stops
think
at
there'll
the
be folks that work
YMCA.
together. I think we're just
Well, I know,
individually filing.
that's, but, numerically, you're not gonna be an incumbent by running 3 people against them.
Here we go.
I knew that.
I'm sorry to prolong this, but
No, no, no.
No, it's worth looking at.
Okay, so there's South Mebane.
this is
I think it's
This
the
is-
blue line.
good viewing for people that are watching this online. And Peter, are you
There is
still
a
awake?
few.
What?
There's 4 people.
Oh, good.
Somebody's hanging in there.
Hang in with us.
It should be right there, because you got several stops right there on Church Street in front of the YMCA. And then,
That's on this side of the park.
yeah, and then here's that, big intersection. So that I know there's one there, because here is, that's YMCA.
That's Mebane Gym.
This is
I could
it.
have sworn
It's
that
right
there was
here.
one there.
Yeah, because it's right behind the tennis complex.
Is it orange?
So that's, what do you call it?
I was walking down the street in front of the courthouse. There was a bus stop, had 2 middle seats, one on each side of the pole. So I think it's cool in the wintertime. But there were 2 seats, they built into the pole.
That's kind of cool.
More information here is looking like they might have taken away the stop in front of Coronado, and now the closest stop is at that intersection right nearby.
Well, yeah,
So it wasn't, instead of being in that direction,
it's
it's,
going out that, yeah, I think I remember seeing it on the opposite side of the road from Coronado. You better be hiking across there pretty quickly.
What are the offices that are gonna be contested?
we don't know
We don't know yet.
exactly.
Well,
It
We'll
joined
find out
lots
in
of files.
December.
Yeah, the only ones we know about are the ones that have their signs up already.
Filing starts noon on Monday, December 1st, and ends at noon on Friday, December 19th.
Yeah, technically, we're just guessing with the sheriff because there hasn't actually been any filing.
Just
It's just
signs,
based on what,
just signs.
yeah,
But we have to make a decision about location and
Right.
times before then.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
before that
I
period. then.
think the state wants everything in by December 6th
Yeah,
is when they would like early
And-
voting plans.
And that's
submitted.
before our next meeting.
right.
Dawn will find out. She'll come back up here in a minute.
Yeah, this is why we had the meeting today.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Mhm.
The other thing I will say is that volume, although volume is unlikely to be too much of an issue this time, people actually do use the wait time app. I know we'd said that people didn't, but
I did last year. I
This-
looked at it.
this
We-
past time we had 38,000.
I had people calling me when it
On that-
wasn't
on that-
posted
38,000.
Wow.
and saying, why isn't it,
It
hasn't been changed?
I couldn't locate it, but I Googled,
Okay.
I said, does the, Burlington Transit stop at the Coronado Senior Center? And again, it said it was out, not directly
It's on the
there.
opposite side of the road.
Yeah, and then, at the Elon South Gym, and it was downtown
Mhm.
Elon, not there at the
Okay,
site.
okay.
All right.
What's my last question?
So I think what we had discussed last time was, Tornado, Graham, and Mebane Art Center, based off of the discussion, that we've just had, is there a motion to approve those sites?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
One opposed.
Two opposed.
Oh,
You didn't
two.
call
I'm
for,
voting for.
you didn't call for the opposed.
Okay, so with that, we have to send it to the state board. But it has to be unanimous.
Right.
So we'll have to send, both, let's move forward. Let me just make sure though, that as far as the times, y'all had approved, or had spoken about last
Right.
time.
Mhm.
You know, the Monday through Friday are set, the last Saturday is set,
Mhm.
statutorily set. Now, you had discussed the 15th being open 1 to 4,
Mhm.
and on the 21st, 10 to 4. Are the hours still, do y'all,
I move that we accept those times that she just said, that we've already discussed.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
okay. So what I'll do is I will submit this to the State Board of Elections, and they, to my knowledge, they make the final decision.
Mhm.
And they'll, the hours, will be the same whichever way. So I will submit that, tell me if I'm correct. Elon, Graham, and Mebane sites with the hours that y'all have.
The vote was for Canodal.
I know, no, what I'm saying is I'll submit that, and I will submit Coronado, Graham, and Mebane.
Mhm.
And they decide which,
Okay.
that's, this, we haven't had this before, so this is new.
Mhm.
So, that, I believe that's the way it's determined, okay?
Mhm.
So, but I wanted the hours for whichever way are the same, correct?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So I will get that into the state.
Okay.
And is there anything else, I guess we'll start with Dawn, Judson, Charlene. Is there anything else that y'all had for other business?
I do. We need y'all to sign, the abstract of votes for the recount. I'm gonna pass this around. And they all signed it even though they weren't present, correct? I
Yeah,
mean, here's the abstract for Graham, okay? So you're just signing that these are the final, that's the final results from the recount. And, I did wanna, I heard back from, Darian, from ACC, and she stated that, their facility, unfortunately didn't have anything that could accommodate, us for election day. However, she did state that Alamance Community School has a gymnasium, which that's on the other side of the highway. And so me and Charlene's gonna ride down there the first of next week, because we've got
That's
to get
that
this.
really big new building,
Right, and, we've got to get this ball moving because we have to give legal notice 45 days in advance, and that's what, January, we figured out, the middle of January, so we need to get that moving. So we'll go there and look for some other sites.
Does
To
it relate
use-
to the general or the primary?
This is for both, it will be for any election day site next year.
Oh,
The
okay.
Hall River precinct is under, they
Renovation.
are remodeling the fire station, so the firemen have to reside in the community center. So it's not gonna be available. So this would just be for next year. They don't want us to leave there. They want us to come back. And then two other things, the winter conference, which is virtual, is January the 26th and 27th. I need, the sign up is going on now. If you can let me know that, I mean, I'll be happy to do the sign up for you if y'all, are able to attend that. And then the summer conference is in Greensboro. They're already booking rooms for that, which is August the 9th through the 11th. Now, all of y'all, all the board members have, it says training within 6 months of your appointment, which y'all have, y'all did that with our last training. The next, it says within the first 2 years, you need to have, take another training. So you don't have to attend every one. You are more than welcome to attend every one. So with that being said, what,
You need to know.
yes, I just need to know soon
Okay.
if you're able to do the winter conference or the summer conference or both.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can tell you right now, I plan to do the summer conference.
not the winter.
I'm not planning on. I have-
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I
That's in
just,
August.
that's August 9th through 11th. You don't have to tell me right this minute, but at least by the first of the week, I'll send you an email or text, and you just, again, just, if you want to check your calendars, let me know, so I can get you registered or rooms, either way.
The January one that's virtual, are those all day?
I'm assuming Monday will be Tuesday, or that's actually our first absentee board meeting, but the conferences are usually, it's usually all day on Monday and a half a day on Tuesday.
Okay.
So,
And this last time, they put the board stuff on the morning of Tuesday.
Yeah.
The
So-
one, the things that apply more to us.
On Tuesday that morning.
Yeah, but who
Right.
knows what they're gonna do.
right,
And we have a meeting
that
that
day.
day.
Mhm.
Our board has a meeting.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's the first absentee by mail.
And I'm
board
coming to
meeting.
that, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do the.
Okay, that's fine. So again, like I said, I
should
can
be able to
send
do the virtual. Is that, what is is that part of the training requirement, or is that something that satisfies? the
That's,
training
well,
requirement?
that would satisfy that second, it says within the first, 2 years, an additional training within the first 2
So-
years of your
So
appointment, so
basically,
that
you
would,
have 2 trainings in a 2-year period.
right.
Okay.
You can, again, you're welcome to all of them, but that will meet your requirements in, the virtual, because you did come to the August training. That was in, Wilmington.
I can do the August, the January I should be able to do. It's just
Well,
it's right before the real busy
yes.
season for me starts.
Well,
February,
again,
March
I'll
is
send out,
the
email
busiest.
or text the first of next week, and y'all can check your schedules and then let me know. How's that?
Mhm.
So how will that work in terms of the, regular board meeting that's gonna be on the 27th in relationship to the virtual?
Well, I'm hoping that the virtual
Ends at noon.
ends by noon,
I know-
and then generally these meetings are at 2:00.
2:00, okay.
So
So you can put me down for both.
for both, okay. All right. And the others, I'll just wait till,
Yeah.
I'll send y'all, I've heard y'all too. So y'all three, I'll email y'all next, or text you next week. How's that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Great.
that is all I have.
So I guess the only other question I had is, are we meeting on the 9th?
This took the
Because I
place
thought
of
this
the
was
last-
taking.
Right, I put that down because, but as of right now, unless it has something to do with the,
Like the state board getting back to us.
right, I feel sure, I feel like we've covered everything that we need till the end of, till January. As of right, let's keep it on the books
Okay.
until I hear back about that. But if I do not hear anything from the state, or if it's if y'all don't have to meet again about the early voting, it'll be canceled. We'll cancel that meeting.
And then next, after that would be the January business meeting.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, does anyone else have anything, any other business? All right, then is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy